Dexy, I know you're gonna kill this shit.
Yo, people, what you telling me? We're back again for another one. Another fight talk, bro. What you telling me, Shane, bro? What you telling me?
Bro, I can't lie, yeah. I'm in a weird place right now because so much stuff is happening that I don't know whether to reminisce or be excited for the future, or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still excited, I'm still reminiscing about Saturday night, and I'm still pumped from that. But then I'm thinking forward and thinking, raw. We got Ryan, Devin, Tio, Canelo fighting this weekend, but then we also got an announcement from Dubois Usyk. So I'm like, I don't even know what to focus my mind on right now. It's kind of mad.
Let's start under the boy Usyk because that's the most recent announcement.
Fresh news.
Brother, I can't lie. I don't like anything about that fight, but I understand it because Usyk's one of my favorite fighters, and I believe he deserves his belt back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But I just don't like what it means for Joseph Parker. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that Dubois should be able to pull out of a fight because he did pull out. I don't care what anyone says. He pulled out of the fight and he was rewarded
with
an undisputed fight, and you shouldn't be rewarded for pulling out of a fight with an undisputed fight.
No, of course, I 100% understand that. In my opinion, me and Nick were speaking about this in our video, um,
Mm.
and we were saying that in essence, it's difficult because I don't know how to feel. In one way, I definitely agree that Joseph Parker, all in all, he's a guy who, if you look at his run, beating Zhang, beating Deontay Wilder, knocking out Bacoli. In fact, I think he also he didn't knock out Wilder, but he had a
He hurt Wilder. Yeah, he had him.
three impressive performances back to back. And I think even before that, before the Wilder fight, he also fought Garcia, who's a former cruiserweight world champion. So we're talking about like just wins after wins after wins. And I'm like, this guy deserves his shot. Do you know what I'm saying? He deserves his shot so much because also he's a former world champion who won his world title in the ring. So I get
Mm.
that. But I also feel like Usyk deserves to be undisputed. And I was saying this,
Agree.
and for me, yeah, this is an idiot thing because the IBF ordered Usyk to fight Dubois or AJ, and then you stripped Usyk, and then now you're willing to have a world champion who the world knows isn't the best fighter in the world. Do you know how
Yeah,
crazy that is? The person who represents your belt, the IBF, in the most prestigious division there is, isn't even the best fighter in the world. That for me just out of logic, I just can't strip a guy who you and give a belt to someone he's already beaten. I can't
but
do
this
that,
is the
bro.
problem with boxing because these guys pay for the privilege to have the belt. They
Facts,
almost don't give a damn who's got the belt as long as they're getting their money, bruv.
facts.
Because
Could you
that,
imagine?
that's what it
Yeah,
could be.
could you imagine you and me fighting? You beat me in a fight. But because you want to fight a bigger fight, I get your belt back, and I'm parading like I'm the best fighter in the world. How does that
It's
make
crazy.
sense? How does that make sense? Doesn't
It
make
will
any
never
sense,
it
bro.
will never make sense. And this is where I'm torn with boxing in general now. Do you know what I mean? Because people are saying, for instance, what Turkey's trying to do and trying to do the UFC model. I don't like the UFC model.
Me
Do you
neither.
know what I mean? UFC don't pay their fighters. UFC don't have no superstars. Like they
Facts.
don't. So the model works well because the
And
UFC
UFC don't
model.
have big fights or big fight cards. Do you know
No,
what I'm
they
saying?
don't. They just have one main event, yeah, and it's just one fighter, bro. More
But
times, like the other day, they had Venom Page and Izzy on the same card, and that was like an anomaly. Like you don't have
facts.
two fighters like that on the same card. Like
It's crazy. Like for me, it's mad where you think even take a fight like let's say Tank and Roach, yeah, like Javante
Mm.
Davis and Roach, which in boxing, like for us hardcores, it's like just another fight, really. But
Yeah,
that almost something like that,
yeah, that
the
wasn't no
UFC
super fight.
would
That was
beg.
just yeah.
The UFC would beg for something like that. But for us, it's
Mhm.
like whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when do you see like a Conor Benn verse? In terms, forget the actual fight itself, but in terms of
Yeah,
the
name
performance,
wise, Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, the amount that sold, the equivalent to that in
facts.
the UFC ain't generating no money.
And even the buzz around the people, bro. Like you go down
Mm.
the street, people know. Like I don't. If I asked my mum to name one UFC fighter, she wouldn't. But she knows Ben and Eubank. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that real.
Yeah, bro. Like the thing is, the UFC thing, bro. I can't lie, is overgassed, isn't it? Like it's overgassed. Like UFC for me, someone that's done mixed martial arts here, but I'm not big fan of UFC. Yeah, I can tell you from since the UFC's come in. Yeah, I can tell you GSP. I can tell you Anderson Silva. Those were the names that man were talking about. Man can tell you John Jones,
Yep.
Conor McGregor. Do you know what I'm saying?
Khabib.
And Khabib. Like that's really it. These are the
Facts.
names, bro. Like the time that man's been, you get me? Since UFC started coming out, like UFC came out, I think when I was a teenager, and those are the names that man remembers. Like man,
Facts.
don't the rest of these man ain't no, they're not mega stars. Like they're not superstars. They're not even remotely. Even guys like respectfully Ngannou and Usman and these man, they man are not on the level of a John Jones or a GSP in terms
Facts.
of who they are. They're not.
And when we look at the UFC model, and I think the reason, and I spoke about this before, the reason why Turkey's going down the UFC model is purely
Yeah,
and simply because it's the best financial business in combat fighting. In
it is.
terms of if I'm Turkey and I've put up a bag of money, bro, I've put up a bag of money, and I literally have no control over what's going on in boxing. Like, for example, he put up a bag of money for Canelo. Canelo almost fought Jake Paul, bro, on Netflix. Do you know what I'm saying? At some stage, you got to try and protect your investment. And I say this so many times. What's my man's name? Dana White. He is the best colonizer in boxing, bro. This guy colonizes sports. So if I'm Turkey and I want to colonize boxing, I gotta get another colonizer. I gotta get someone who's gonna shrink the budget down and make me save some money. I'm not gonna get. You know what I'm saying, like, whereas boxing, bro, boxing promoters have been doing this for 50, 60 years, and some of them are still broke, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them still struggling. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I mean broke, I don't mean they personally don't have no money, but their promotional outfit don't have no money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some companies are still struggling to do £1 million purse bids, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we are.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, bro, like, I'll be honest here, like, it's one of them ones where even in fucking Misfits, bro, like, these fighters are making more money than UFC fighters. You know the ones. So that's the reality. I know that for a fact. So because of that, I ain't even trying to see any UFC model in boxing, because boxing, yeah, as a sport, generates so much more money than the UFC.
And
that
hype,
there's
and
hype and excitement. You can't do an equivalent because it doesn't. The numbers don't stack up. Do you understand?
I don't even think, and this is gonna sound crazy, but to a certain degree, I don't think a big football match has the same like, when I mean, like,
it doesn't. Not as a boxing match. It doesn't.
Yeah,
You're right.
like, let's say Champions League final, yeah, and it was United and Liverpool in the final, and you had Fury and AJ fighting in their primes for undisputed. I think the Fury fight generates more money. I could be wrong, but I genuinely...
No, but it does, because the thing is, if your team's not playing, you don't care. You know the ones in boxing. We got multiple. I got multiple fighters in boxing. Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, I've only got one team, so I've only got one
That's a
team
good
I'll
point.
spend money on, bro. Like, yesterday, bro, like the Eubank Benn thing, yeah, I bought the pay-per-view twice because man was like, bro, like, that's man then, bro. Like, hold the money, bro. So you get me? Like, so, like, it's
100%.
fine. You know them, like, that's the difference with football. If it's not my team in the final with the champion, yeah, I'll watch it, but you're not getting my money.
Literally, like, if like,
you're not getting my money.
And I say this to people all the time, even people who are hardcore football fans and boxing fans. If I say you can get a season ticket to watch your team for a season, or you can get a ringside seat for the best fight you would ever see, they're going to take that ringside seat because there's a certain level of prestige. Like, let's say, for example, you could get a ringside seat for Ali Fraser back in the day. That level of prestige, do you know what I'm saying? You kind of don't... I love football as well, but you kind of don't get that same... I don't know, maybe you...
Bruv, the excitement is not even close, bro. I'll be honest. The excitement's not even close. When it comes to boxing, it's different. Like, there's not many matches in football, yeah, that people give a shit about, bro. Like, we can sit here and talk about 10 boxing matches that we want to see, that we can be excited about. Bro, there's not 10 football matches man will be excited about. There's not 10 good teams. You know them, man. Like that's the reality, bro. Boxing's very, very different because we got all the different weight classes.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And then within the weight classes, we've got multiple fighters that we enjoy watching. You know what I mean? Like, I always said it. Like, I'll wake up at 5 in the morning to watch boxing. I'll never wake up at 5 in the morning to watch football.
Yes,
like, never. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, never. Do you know? Not even my own team. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. You'd have to pay me. You'd have to pay me to wake up at 5 a.m. to watch football.
Literally, like, Roach and Tank, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily fond of a high level, but I still walk up to watch that fight. I would never wake up and watch, let's say, Spurs and Arsenal. I'll never do. I'm not doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that.
This is the point. This is the point. Do you know what I'm saying? So, this is where it is.
Bringing it back to Dubois, because we kind of went on a slight tangent.
Yeah, I think it's horrible, bro. I think it's horrible.
But I want Usyk to get his belts back. I'm with you on that one. I really want Usyk to get his belts back. 3-time undisputed. He deserves to have all the straps. And they pretty much just robbed him. But if you remove that from the equation and from Usyk's aspect, I genuinely don't feel like there's about 4 guys at heavyweight that I feel like need to earn the right to fight Canelo. I'm not Canelo. Usyk. Why did I say Canelo? Usyk, sorry. And it's Dubois, Parker, Caballero, and let's just say, and I can't even say AJ or Fury, bro. I'll probably just say those three. Like, they're probably on the same level. And when Joseph Parker and Dubois was set to fight each other, the winner gets Usyk. You pulled out of that fight. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So you
You
shouldn't get
pulled out of
Usyk
that fight.
anyway,
So you
bro.
should
To
have just
me,
been Parker straight away. It should have just been straight Parker. Like, so that I do agree with. Unfortunately, Parker doesn't have the straps anymore. And I actually wanted Parker to beat Dubois
Dubois, and I
because
thought he would have beat him as well.
yeah, no, it would have been a great fight. It would have been a great
Mm.
fight. But the reason why I wanted him to win was because, bro, I want to see Usyk, because I'm a fan of Usyk. I want to see Usyk clean up everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to see him clean up everyone. And if you look at like the lineage of like boxing, this heavyweight era, Parker and Wilder are the only two that he hasn't beaten out of this era, out of this crop of fighters. And I'm like, he can't get Wilder because Wilder's doing whatever he's doing. Parker's there. I really want to see him get that fight. And I'm like, when you clean out a division, I don't want anyone putting their hand up and saying he didn't fight me. You know what I'm saying? If he beat
Because man will
Parker,
chat shit and say,
I'm saying,
he
oh, he
ducked
didn't
smoke
fight
and that.
Parker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I hate that. So for me, that's what I want to see next, innit? That's what I wanted to see next. I didn't really, only because it's undisputed why I'm excited for it. But if it wasn't and the belt wasn't on the line, I wouldn't have been wanting that fight either.
Yeah, facts. As a Usyk fan, obviously I want to see him undisputed again and then retire. I don't want to see him continue to fight because he doesn't need the money, and he's one of the best fighters of this generation. So he doesn't need to continue fighting. There's nothing in it for him, like nothing at all, bro. Like he's better than
100%.
everyone by far. Like it's like, bro, you've got zero to prove. Do you know what I mean? Like you smoked Fury and Joshua. Like, do you know what I mean?
And the craziest thing is, like, I see people getting like mad excited about Usyk now, and I'm like, bro, you lot didn't even see the best Usyk, bro. Like,
you missed
the
it.
Usyk now is getting hit way more than bro. That Usyk at cruiserweight was bro. He was different, bro. Like to this day, Usyk versus Brady is the best fight I've ever seen live.
Sick fight. Now, even that whole tournament was sick.
Yeah, sick, bro. Sick. And
that's what I mean, because Garcia was in that tournament
Garcia
as well.
Yeah. Bro, you know what? And this is another thing why I rate Usyk so much as well. Because when he cleaned out everyone at cruiserweight, he called out Tony Bellew. And the reason why he did was because Tony Bellew relinquished the belt before Usyk could get it because he wanted to fight David Haye. So he's like, you know what? I want to make sure there's no one that said I didn't beat in my division. That, you know what gangster that is, bro? That is so gangster to say, you know what,
and he
bro,
smoked Bellew as well. Like the knockout was mad.
So now, bro, Usyk is like, when you say one of, I'm pressed to find someone who I actually genuinely believe maybe Ali, but I can't even argue Usyk in terms of an overall career, amateur and pro. Usyk's probably the greatest fighter of all time. Like,
but you can argue that. I wouldn't argue against it. When I look at his amateur and pro, do you know what I mean? The multiple undisputed at multiple weight classes, and then the amount of weight that his man's giving up here, because like he even said he struggles to keep the weight on to fight at heavyweight. Do you know what I'm saying? So like the way the way he dealt with Fury and AJ, like, and these guys are really, really big guys. Like people don't understand that, like, these guys are super heavyweights. They're not normal heavyweights because when you look at people like George Foreman and that, he was the equivalent to like a Dillian White in terms of his size. He wasn't an Anthony Joshua or a Tyson Fury.
I would maybe even make an argument that he was smaller than Dillian in terms of frame. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was in this era of heavyweight boxing, he wouldn't be deemed as a big heavyweight. Literally, and his name was Big George back in the day. Do you know what I'm saying? So like in this era, like we always ask what would happen if Ali was in this era, or like a sort of smaller heavyweight would be in this era, and they'll be like, oh, Fury's too big or whatever. And I'm like, nah, bro, like skills are skills. Like if you're skilled enough, it doesn't make size does play a factor to a certain degree, but what Usyk's shown is skills will always remain precedent. Skills will always be the most important thing in boxing.
No, 100%. And skill wise, I think he's unreal in it. So it's one of them ones. And when you look at exactly, look at that, 6'4", 225, bro, smaller than Dylan. That's what I'm trying to say. And in them times, he was a big bruiser, bro. So like the heavyweight division is different now. Do you get what I'm saying? So like Usyk's a similar height to Ali. So it's one of them ones where, man, in this era, he's a small heavyweight, but actually he's probably the proper size for a heavyweight fighter.
That I actually agree with that because, and someone was asking me why does British fighters of recent do better in higher weight classes than lower weight classes? And I said because
Mm.
size in nowadays boxing is a way of disguising skill deficiency.
Yeah,
When you
fact.
look at divisions where skills are the priority, lightweight, welterweight, super middleweight, middleweight, even bantamweight, whatever, where skills are the priority, this brute, I don't even know what to call it, pub man fighting size bigger, that doesn't become a factor. It's all about skills.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look at, if you think about it, let's say Lennox Lewis, who was a great British heavyweight? There wasn't any. There was no great British heavyweights. But the moment that it became an emphasis on size and not skill, all of a sudden we started seeing like the Brunos, Lennoxes, and obviously David Price, Audley Harrison. Then this era, like all of a sudden,
None of them men were that skilled.
exactly. And even now,
And
they're
what
not
Audley
that skilled.
Harrison won an Olympic
Olympic gold medal. Do you know what I'm saying?
gold medal,
Even now,
bro. Yeah.
it's not even that skilled. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas I'm like, if you look at the core foundations of boxing, and in fact, let me just a small tangent. Who's the greatest defensive fighter from Britain? No one can name me. Who's a good defensive fighter from
Nah,
Britain?
British fighters are good at taking punches on the forehead.
Lidge. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
is what it is, bro. It's just that real. But I'm so glad Usyk's restored that balance to show skills will always remain precedent, bro. Because I was watching boxing, and even though I love heavyweight boxing, I'm like, bro, this is just because you're bigger, fam. It's not even
Yeah.
because you're
That's all
more
it is.
skilled.
It's not skills. Yeah, you're
It
right.
was the Steve Cunningham and Fury fight where I first realized, because I was still younger those times.
When he
I
got
first
sat
realized
down.
I'm like, bruv, this is not even a skilled fight. This is just because Fury's bigger than Cunningham. He's not a better fighter than Cunningham. Cunningham
Yeah.
was out punching him the whole fight. It's just about size.
No, 100%. Nah, bro, you're not even lying. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, for me, it would be great. It would absolutely be great to see Usyk get the belts back, and then he just needs to hang it up.
Trust. Facts.
You know what I mean? And that would be something serious. And then obviously this weekend, the build up to Rolly and Ryan's killing me because they're
Trust
both
me.
hilarious, innit? They're two
100%.
funny fighters. Rolly, yeah, he's mad entertaining, and this is what, like, imagine I was in the gym today, and I was moving around in the gym, and I was even saying to the guys, I was like, bro, if I was a fighter, I would just make sure, yeah, that I'm working on my social media presence all the time, because you look at Ryan Garcia, for instance, yeah, he's got one of the biggest gates in the history of boxing, yeah,
Facts.
and it's because of his social media presence. And when you look at someone like Rolly, brother, we know that Rolly can't really box, yeah, but bro, you know that he's gonna sell the shit out of
Facts.
every fight
Like,
because he's
bro,
funny,
this
bro.
guy who in boxing has so many losses or so much consistent losses at the same level can still keep getting fights. Do you know what I'm saying? This guy here, he's just entertaining. Bro, for me,
Mm.
I look at Rolly like a Derek Chisora. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I
like a
look at
gatekeeper,
in a
innit?
gatekeeper, but he's gonna help
Mm.
sell a show, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's gonna help sell a show. People will never stop tuning into this guy because he fights with his heart on his sleeve, and he's always gonna come for a fight, and he's gonna sell the show before the fight. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a name that people know in it. Like, to say you beat Rolly isn't a great accomplishment, but it's a name people know.
Facts. And this is what it is. So that is why it's a great fight, because you know, yeah, that Rolly's probably not the most skilled,
Facts.
but you know that people are going to tune in. They're going to buy this, bro, because he's entertaining. So he's a great dance partner for a lot of fighters. So he'll always get work, bro.
100%.
He'll always get
100%.
work.
Right. So when you're saying working on your social media presence or your personality, just sell your personality a bit more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
If you can sell your personality in boxing nowadays and you have something about you in the ring, like you can't just be a straight out bum kind of thing, but you have
Yeah.
to have something, like whether it's power, whether it's a great chin, you have to have something that people can also buy into in the ring, because they also need to buy in the hope. Because I guarantee you, there's so many people that have the glimmer of hope that maybe Rolly might hit Ryan with a shot that Ryan don't see and Ryan gets knocked out. There's some people that's hoping that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that
I think
genuinely
that Rolly always has a chance against Ryan Garcia because Ryan still fundamentally does things that he could get caught. But Ryan's probably
facts.
got the speed, even though he doesn't have the power. He's got the speed advantage, and he's slightly taller than Rolly as well. But
Yeah,
Rolly
facts.
can punch in it, so Ryan just needs to either underestimate him or get caught in that funny shell that he does here one time, and he could get clipped. Do you know what I mean?
Trust
That's what
me.
makes it a good fight.
I mean, Ryan, other than against Devin Haney, Ryan has
Mm.
not shown me on one occasion that he has good whiskers. Like, I remember when he
Yeah.
got caught by Luke Campbell when he got dropped. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, in the Haney fight, this guy had the punch resilience of flipping George Foreman. But in the you know what I'm saying? Like, but this guy was getting caught with shots flush, and he was just like, yeah, let's have it. I'm
Mm.
like, maybe Devin just don't crack. I don't know what it is in it, but
Mm.
unless, like, we saw him down against Tank twice, and we saw him down against Luke Campbell. So Rolly's always got a chance. But I just think they're both so gun ho and they're both so aggressive. This might be like a Conor Benn Eubank thing again.
I
But
hope it is, because then Rolly's got a chance. You know
yeah,
them ones. He's got a
Lidge.
chance, because it's like
Facts.
Ryan. I don't think he's got the punch resistance of Rolly. Like they're saying, yeah, for instance, like Ryan was saying to Rolly, "Oh, your punch resistance has gone down." He was like, "Bro, I got drained. I got weight drained by Tank."
Tank.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it was a
Yeah,
shot that
facts.
he didn't see from Tank, yeah, because Tank's small and it's a looping shot. Ryan's not going to be able to throw punches at that angle.
Trust me. But you know what I find like an element that I don't know how people are looking at it, because I'm a bit torn as well. So tell me what you think. But I think fighting last may be the biggest disadvantage, because I feel like the person who's in the best position right now is Teofimo Lopez, because you have to set the precedent for the day.
Mm.
If Teo knocks out Barbosa in the first round, yeah, and when Devin's going into the ring, he's also got to think about who's going to be able to capture the audience the most.
100%.
Do
And
you
now
know what
you
I'm
want to
saying?
try and outperform
You
Teo
got
now.
to outperform the
Yeah,
person
yeah,
before
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So let's say Teo wins by stoppage, and let's say Devin doesn't win by stoppage, but he absolutely wins 12-0, which I expect to happen unless Devin's chin's gone, and he just
Mhm.
puts on an absolute boxing masterclass. People will then say, well, let's see what Ryan's got. Ryan psychologically might be thinking, I have to win in an impressive fashion. That might add fuel to how he fights. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think, and even let's say, for example, Devin puts on a bad performance. I feel like Ryan then has to put on a good performance as well. Because if Devin puts on a bad performance and Teo puts on a bad performance, that's additional pressure for you to perform. So I feel like either way, fighting last is tough in this situation. I don't think I've ever seen a card like this before.
Nah, bro, like that's the one thing that Turkey's done well. He's eradicated them shit undercards, bro. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like that's why the other day, I think, what was it the boxer thing? Yeah, apart from the main event, I didn't even bother watching it because that undercard was dead, bro. That took me
Bro,
back. I felt like I was in the ghetto again. I was like, I forgot what it was like to see undercards like that.
literally,
Because
bro,
it's
it
mad.
was so mad, yeah, because me and Nick made a big mistake. We went live for the Ben Whitaker fight, yeah,
Yeah.
but because we're so used to these Riyadh season fights, we're like, oh yeah, now set the live for like
Oh
8
no.
8 p.m. in it, because the main
Yeah.
event's gonna be 10, so we're obviously gonna catch the undercard. We were like,
Mm.
shit, we forgot how crap these undercards can be, bro. We had
Stinkers,
to
mate.
wait for 2 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, we had to watch 2 fights before Ben. I was like, oh, this is so dead.
Yeah, proper stinkers, bro. So I was
Yeah,
glad I watched
literally.
that. Do you know what I mean? So now you're 100% right. Probably going first, yeah, and setting pace on cards like that's probably the best, in it. It's funny because Rolly was like, "Listen, even when I knock Ryan out, he can still go fight fucking my
Yeah, I
man
love that
again."
still.
You
I
know what I
love
was?
that.
I
I love
rate that,
that.
man, because I
I
was like,
love
"No,
that.
even when I knock this brother out, the fight's still there, in it." Like, do you know what I mean? Because he wants his chain back, which is facts. So that fight's happening regardless. Like
Facts.
Ryan don't need to win to get that Devon fight. Even if he lost, that Devon fight is still a big money fight. That's the beauty
Facts.
in
Because
boxing.
Devin
If
wants
you
that
lose to
lick,
good,
bro.
bro, if
Dev
you lose to good fighters in boxing, it don't matter. Like this is the
Facts.
problem. Like a lot of these men are
Facts.
thinking, right? Oh, like bro, look at Teofimo is still a big name, bro. You know them ones, and he lost to a scrub, bro. Let's be honest. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
He's a
I
scrub.
give you I give you a prime example, even though this is going back slightly in history though. But when Joe Frazier beat Ali, and then Joe Frazier then lost to George Foreman, and Ali had a tough fight with Ken Norton. George Foreman still fought Ali. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like everybody thought Ali was washed, but then Ali ended up beating George Foreman, even though he had lost to people that Foreman had beat. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just people just want that lick back. Yeah, sometimes I have to prove I'm the best. So it's one of those things where even if Ryan loses, I don't think Devin comfortably within his heart can go forward in his career not knowing that he beat Ryan.
Bro, like even to this day, bro, Eubank still wants to fight Saunders again. You know them ones. Even now, he still don't want to let that go. Do you get it? And this is what fighters are proud people, bro. So these men want to avenge their losses, bro. Like,
do you remember? Yeah, I think do you remember when James DeGale won his world title? And he could have called out everyone in the world. And George Groves was way down because George Groves had lost a couple of times. He said, nah, bro, I want George Groves because he had beaten me. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be the 50th ranked fighter. If you got a win over me, I want it back. I want that back.
But this is what I'm saying. So it's like a lot of these men need to take these fights on. And I believe now, because the money is doing what it's supposed to do, we're going to see these fights. And it's great. Like this weekend, to have so many top fighters fighting in the same weekend, it's unheard of. Normally, all of these men are fighting once a year. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's scattered and they avoid each other. You know
why it's so sick as well, Rants, yeah? It's because we know the path. The winner of Ryan and Devin fight each other, and the winner of that fight, Teofimo Lopez. Do you know what I'm saying? That path is so clear. If I know, like, rarely do you have your path set out. You might have ambitions of what you want to do, but the winner of that three will come out as pound for pound top, maybe pound for pound top 5. If Teo goes out and let's say, for example, wins against Barbosa and then beats the winner of Ryan and Devin, you can make the argument. I probably won't have him in my pound for pound top 5, but there'll be people who will be. Do you know what I'm saying? If Ryan goes out and beats Rolly, beats Devin, beats Teofimo Lopez, bro, you got to start looking at this guy like, bro, this guy might be pound for pound top 10 something.
Bro, yeah, but you have to, and this is, and the only way to really have these conversations, in context, is for man to fight each other. This is just what it is, and it's happening now, innit? So I'm just happy that it's happening now, bro. Like I think it's a great situation. It's a great situation for boxing, bro. So, like, yeah, bro, it's all good. Like, man is saying Boots versus Haney, bro. Listen, I'll be honest, it's one of them ones where when I look at someone like Boots, his durability means that he's problems for everyone. Because he can take a shot, bro. That's how I rate fighters, because Boots is mad technical, but brother, he can take a shot. That's the difference. Haney's mad technical, but he can't take the punishment Boots can take. I know that. Like, Boots is walking through shots he doesn't even have to take.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. So Boots is a real fucking problem.
It's one of those things where the reason why people are asking about Boots and Haney is because Bill Haney in an interview said that's a fight that he wants. And if you keep it real, that's been Bill Haney. Bill Haney's always wanted to throw Devin in the deep end. He's always wanted to do that. Like, if we're keeping it real, bro, after everything that happened with Ryan, someone in Devin's corner should have said, you know what, bro, don't take this fight. This guy's 4 pounds overweight. We already had like issues in terms of what was going on with the fight. Like, for me, someone in his, but because they've always had this, they look at Haney like he's Superman. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when I mean he's like, bro, they fought Kambosos and came back and had a voluntary defense against Lomachenko. Who does that? Who does that? You already knew he was tight at the weight already, and you've done a voluntary defense against Lomachenko. Nobody ever does that. This guy's 23. When are you going to preserve this guy's career? Do you know what I'm saying? It's similar to like how Arsenal use Saka. This guy was playing every week, every day. I'm like, bro, at some stage this guy's going to burn out, and I'm like,
yeah, you need to manage him a bit.
So where's the management if Devin beats Ryan, for example, because this is Bill Haney's scenario. Devin beats Ryan, Devin beats Romero on the weekend, and Devin beats Teo, and then fights Boots. Where do you know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Crazy. Like, that's crazy, bro.
That's
like,
crazy,
you need to have some fights in there, some tick over fights where like you're supposed to win, and it's just to kind of keep the engine warm, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Literally, bro.
You don't just go into big fight after big fight after big fight. That's how to shorten your career, bro.
Facts, literally. And I'm like, they've been trying to do that to Devin. They've been at some stage, like they've been trying to put Devin on this dead man walking path, bro. Like and it's no surprise that he's calling out Boots, because this guy probably call out Canelo next. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I just don't know. Yeah, it's like you don't have warm-up fights, but I think these fights in boxing are very, very important, and also like those are the fights that you work on things. Do you know what I mean? Even Canelo has warm-up fights. Floyd used to do it. So why the fuck? When Floyd knew he had a big fight coming up, he would always take on an opponent that had a similar style to him, a similar stature, and he would work his way in. And Canelo does the same thing. Do you know what I mean? You're supposed to have these fights.
Usyk, when he came to the heavyweight division, he fought Chisora. He didn't fight AJ or Fury.
Yeah, he fought Chisora. He fought who was the other brother? Witherspoon, and he fought who's the other American black guy? Is it Hunter or something?
Like he fought Hunter. He fought Hunter just in cruiserweight. He fought Hunter in cruiserweight.
Okay, at the end, just before he jumped up.
And remember, he fought Belly, who was also coming down from heavyweight as well.
So he was working his way up. Do you know what I'm saying? And then he had the Witherspoon fight. Then he had the Chisora one during lockdown.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because he needed to acclimatize to just getting hit by bigger fighters. Do you know what I mean? And moving around.
This guy went from Loma to Regis to flipping Ryan to Tio to flipping Boots. This doesn't make any sense, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. You need to ease yourself into those kind of fights, to be honest.
And bro, that Boots and Haney fight will be, if it does happen, I would hope it comes down the stretch, but not straight away. There's a question to you though. What do you think has the most chance of an upset? Tio, Ryan, or Devin on the weekend, this coming week? Who do you think has the most chance of losing?
Ooh, probably Tio, because Tio's mad
up and down, isn't it?
Yeah, he's erratic, Teofimo, bro. You know them ones, like sometimes he looks like the best fighter in the division, and sometimes he looks like he don't want to be in there. Yeah, like
my man went from that Lomachenko performance to Kambosos. I'm like, bro, what's going on here, bro? This is mad.
But this is the problem with Tio, and it's like Tio's a very, very good fighter, but it's almost like it's almost like he's always overlooking his opponents. Like he thinks he's like almost like he's unbeatable. Like when he lost to Kambosos, it was because he didn't pay him no respect. That's what it was. It was none, bro. Because it's not even skills. Because Teofimo is so clear of him, in terms of skills. It was because he just overlooked him. Because bro, like Kambosos is a punch bag to any skilled boxer. Like he don't really move his feet. He's there to be hit all day, and he's gonna keep walking forward, bro. Like a fighter like him, any good fighter just picks him off. Do you know what I mean? That's a fighter that you want to fight against because he'll make you look good, because he just walks onto your punches. You don't need to set nothing up. You don't even need to feint against someone like Kambosos. Like you don't even need to feint. You just let your hands go.
But again, this is a thing where I'm like, if Tio was fighting last, he would have been in problems, because he had already had that fight announced with Devin. Beat Kambosos, you got Devin. Devin was ringside there. So it's like, bro, you got to put on a show for me. Now my man had no respect. He got dropped in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man just literally went in there with no respect for Kambosos. And then Devin Haney got gifted an undisputed opportunity. That was supposed to be you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you literally went in there against Kambosos and fought like an idiot. That's why I'm thinking you're right. Because even you would have thought he learned his lesson, because he fought Josh Taylor and fought amazing. And then he fought Martin and fought like crap, and he almost lost. And I'm like, bro, this guy goes from one end to the next end so quickly. So you're probably right about that. He's got Barbosa. Barbosa's coming like. Tio ain't fought in 18 months. Barbosa just fought Jack Carroll the other day and beat him, like,
there you go,
pretty comfortably. So you might be right about that still.
That's what I mean. So, bro, it's a potential banana skin, innit? If he doesn't apply himself the right way, or if the ring rust is there, bro, because it's a real thing. So,
facts,
brother.
Here's another thing I was gonna ask you. With the Canelo thing, Do you feel like, obviously he's fighting William Skull, who historically Conor Benn said he beat up in sparring. Do you believe that story, by the way?
I don't believe it. Even Skull's people came out and said, "Yo, these men are waffling." You know them ones there.
Swear down.
Yeah, bro. The brother came out. It was his
didn't
his coach said, bruv, like man said, yeah, they said about Skull after a certain round he didn't want no more. And the guy said, listen, we agreed beforehand we was only doing a certain number of rounds. We like stop chatting shit kind of thing. You know them ones. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And also, like Conor Benn was talking about he was smoking man in sparring, and then I've seen footage, a man are wearing 20-ounce gloves.
Oh, swear.
Brother, come on, man.
I didn't.
Brother,
actually...
he was sparring Denzel, yeah. And Denzel's my guy, like, and I seen the gloves. I'm like, bro, what? Those are pillows. Those are 20 ounces, bro. And they're not big guys. You know the ones. Denzel's not a big guy, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, Denzel's not a big guy. Like, Denzel's smaller than me. Do you know what I'm saying? So he fighting Denzel, and Denzel's in 20 ounces. It's like, bro, like, you get it. So when man are saying man are doing that hard, bruv, man's wearing 20 ounce. The gloves are massive, bro. I've never seen 20-ounce gloves in real life. I've never seen anything more than a 16 in my life.
Yeah, I don't think. Have I seen 20-ounce gloves? I probably haven't, you know.
I haven't seen 20-ounce gloves in my life, bro.
I don't think I've seen 20 ounces. And I definitely, I 100% have, and I've seen so much sparring, like at so many different levels. I've never seen welterweights use 20-ounce gloves neither. It may be a heavyweight, but
this is what I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to say, bro. And you know what's the maddest thing as well, yeah? Because of Conor Benn's engine, yeah. If you're in big gloves, you can understand why he might overwhelm people because he doesn't have to, because he doesn't have to respect anything coming back because he's in big ass gloves. Do you know what I mean? So it's not really, if you're only doing 6 rounds with Conor Benn and you're in big gloves, of course he might overwhelm you because you can't leave nothing on him because the gloves are heavy.
If you have a pillow fight with someone who's got more stamina than you, he's gonna win.
That's it,
win, bro.
But that's what I mean. If you're in 20-ounce gloves, that's a pillow fight. That's what it is. Like, man, have to keep it lig. Like, it's only not a pillow fight if they're heavy.
Came out though. I didn't know.
Yeah, his coach came out straight away and was like, "Yeah, less of that." Do you know what I'm saying?
I didn't even know that.
But the wickedest thing is, unless you're a heavyweight, 20-ounce gloves are ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's a joke thing. That's a joke. Ridiculous. Madness. I don't even know what's the point of even. What's the point of even? You might as well shadow spar, bro. What's the point of that?
I'm trying to say, bro. You're weight training, blood. 20 ounces.
Literally. I was gonna say, do you actually want to see Crawford versus Canelo?
Yeah, yes and no. You know them ones. I want to see it because I believe Crawford beats him, and everyone's saying,
swear down.
Everyone's saying that Crawford don't beat Canelo, and that's why I want to see it because I believe Crawford beats him. Because people are
the only one who think Canelo wins, bro. I was talking to my cousin, yeah, he's a big boxing fan like me and my brother. He boxes as well. They think Crawford wins as well, and I'm like, swear, bro, what am I missing? I just think he's just too small.
No, but he's not though. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, he's 5'9", yeah. He's got the reach, he's got the speed, and he's awkward because he switch hits as well, bro. And Canelo don't like fighting man that move, blood. Facts. You know them one.
That's a fact.
Because he don't like fighting man that move, and we've seen, yeah, that he can move on the back foot, yeah. Like, look what he done to Benavidez, Jr, yeah, and how he stopped him late, bro. Like, Crawford can fight going backwards, land shots, and move
against Madrimov as well.
Exactly, he can fight going backwards, moving for 12 rounds. He can. He's shown me it many times. So because of that, I believe he can win, bro. He's not gonna stop Canelo, but then again, Canelo ain't really stopping people at the moment. I know he's fighting people bigger than him.
That was going to be my point. I said the one thing that works in Crawford's favor is that Canelo hasn't stopped anyone. I think the last person he stopped was Kovalev. No, Billy Joe Saunders. I think the last person he stopped was Billy Joe Saunders. Since then, he went the distance with Smith. He stopped Plant as well. He also stopped Plant.
He stopped Plant late, yeah.
He stopped Plant late, but he didn't stop Munguia. He didn't stop Belanga. He didn't stop Bivol. He didn't even stop John Ryder. That was the maddest one for me. Canelo didn't even stop John Ryder. So and he didn't stop Charlo either. Charlo went the distance.
Yeah. They said that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're saying that Charlo didn't try to fight, but bro, he didn't need to. You know them, he was in there trying to survive. Do you know what I mean? And he likes to do this. Come fight me, like, bruv. Crawford's not gonna do that. He's gonna stay on the outside, pop, move around, boom, check hook, move around the ring.
That power, Crawford
Yeah,
wouldn't
but it
have
has
felt
to
power
land
like that.
though. But it has to land though, bro. Like you gotta understand that Canelo, like respectfully, because he's one of the best fighters of the generation, but he's flat-footed now and he telegraphs his
100%.
shots now, like because he's got the high guard, and he wants to load up that left hook. Like, brother, you know what's coming with Canelo now. Like that's why he wants guys that are gonna stand in the middle of the ring and scrap with him, bro. That's why he
Facts.
picks his opponents very, very
Well,
strategically. He don't like
that's
movers, bro.
that's pretty much why he fought Belanga and Munguia because like there's been other boxing channels who've been saying, oh well, we just seen Canelo drop his last 3 opponents. I'm like, bro, he picked Munguia is right there in the pocket. So if you're gonna trade with
I think they both
Canelo,
went for a left hook at the same time. He dropped
yeah,
Belanga and then Belanga got back up.
literally. And I can't even lie, some wins don't age well because I swear Munguia just got knocked out by
Got
that Frenchman.
smoked. Yeah, he got smoked.
My man got knocked out by the Frenchman, but Canelo went the distance with Munguia. So I'm thinking, rah, what's the power saying? What's the power saying, Canelo?
But this is
It's a
what
bit
I'm trying
mad.
to say, bro. Like people forget that Canelo's like 5'7", yeah, and even though like he's heavy set in build, yeah, like he gives away speed, reach, height to Crawford. So
Facts.
when man are saying he's a bigger man, genetically they're built very different, but Crawford has advantages in that fight as well because he's got the speed, he's got the reach, he's got the hand speed as well, not just the foot speed. He's got the hand speed and foot speed. So
100%.
they both have have advantages.
He's got significant advantages, but in my opinion, there's a threshold. And I'm like, bro, I can see how Crawford wins the fight. But if I'm putting money on that fight, I just feel like Canelo's gonna go to the body really early. Crawford's gonna find that feel the difference in weight, and I feel like Crawford's gonna be too negative. And I feel like he's going to struggle to find the balance of being positive and negative. And at times, it's going to be a case of, you have to beat Canelo on points. You have to beat Canelo on points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at times, I don't see how, because you're going to have to do something. Because even when Bivol fought Canelo, yeah, and Bivol's bigger than Crawford, Bivol at times was sitting in the pocket, catching bam. And I'm like, I just can't see Crawford doing that, bro. If you just fight off the back foot for 12 rounds, yeah, you're probably not going to beat Canelo on points because it's going to be tough for them judges to give you the fight. I'm not even going to lie.
I do hear it, but you know what it is, bro? I think that he can box him on the back foot and beat him, bro. Like, and the thing is, he only needs to win 7 rounds.
Facts.
That's it. You know the ones, because if Charlo can survive against Canelo, why can't Bud?
Well, for me, it's a case of if it goes halfway through the fight and it's round 6, and let's say Canelo's 4-2 up, which I expect the early rounds Canelo to be in a heavy advantage. I expect him to be in an early 100%.
You think 100%.
So, bro? Canelo is one of the worst finishes in a fight of recent times. He dropped Ryder in the first 4 rounds. He dropped Belanga in the first 4 rounds. He dropped Munguia in the first 4 rounds. His only rounds that he won against Bivol was in the first 5 rounds. Do you know what I'm saying? That was in the first 5 rounds. If you look down the stretch, he couldn't stop Ryder. Once Ryder went out of round 7, he couldn't stop him. He couldn't stop Munguia. Like, he starts the fight so much faster other than the Plant fight, he starts the fight so much better of recent times, but win his last 5-6 fights. If you look at his last 5-6 fights, he's actually started faster than he's finished. He's actually, like, if you look at how do you drop Ryder 4 times in the first 4 rounds, but don't stop him? Because after 6 rounds, he was gassed, bro. He was absolutely spent.
Do you not think? I think that tends to happen with Canelo because I think psychologically early he instills a certain amount of fear with fighters and they need to adjust. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think that Crawford's gonna be scared of him, bro. I think Crawford's gonna go out there and he'll box. He'll box, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna be worried about him. He's not gonna be scared of man like that, bro.
Canelo, I couldn't tell you other than when he stopped Kovalev and when he stopped Caleb Plant. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched Canelo have a convincing championship rounds. Because he, like, obviously the Ryder fight, I don't really count that. But if you look at the toughest rounds that he had against Munguia, the toughest rounds he had against Belanga were the last 3 rounds. The
Yeah.
toughest rounds he had against Bivol were the last 3 rounds. And I'm thinking, the way I saw Crawford flick the switch against Majimov, in those last 3 rounds, bro, Crawford flicked that switch and he just became an animal. Also,
Yeah.
Crawford takes a certain amount of time to process information.
He does. He does.
I use an analogy for Crawford all the time. I say Crawford is like a mathematician. You have some mathematicians who can do anything mental arithmetic. Some people need to show their workings. If you give Crawford the time to solve the equation, there's not an equation he won't solve. You have to try and put some form of dent in this dude in
Yeah, you have to make him almost be chasing the fight.
Facts. If you let this guy figure your style out, I've seen it so many times. He flicks the switch and he just becomes someone different. Porter, they told him, yo, you're down on the cards. 30 seconds later, Porter was on the canvas. It's the same thing when he fought Benavides. He fought Benavides, calculated everything, cool, I'm going to get rid of you. Jeff Horn, every time I've seen this guy have to, like, even Majimov, it took him so many rounds to figure out Majimov's style. The moment he flicked that switch and Bomac was like, bro, we need these last 3 rounds. That was the most complete I've ever seen Crawford. Bro, how he fought those last 3 rounds was money. Because he fought those first 9 rounds kind of
trying to work it out.
Yeah, he almost looked baffled at times. But that Crawford in the 11th round, especially, bro, that's what some of the best work I've seen Crawford do in a long time.
No, 100%. I think that he can. I just think that he can win it, and I think that things that people don't take into account because he's the older man is when you look at mileage, bro. Canelo, brother, this guy fought 1 million amateur fights here. And like Canelo's super experienced, but his physical age is probably way older than his actual biological age, if that makes sense.
100%.
Like you can see he's visibly slowing down. He's visibly slowed down, bro. And he's someone that does take punishment in fights because
100.
his style takes punishment.
100.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what I find, and maybe me having this conversation with you slightly making me lean more towards Crawford, because I think, who was the last time Canelo fought someone who, obviously you're going to say Caleb Plant, but who was the last time Canelo fought someone who had the speed advantage over him? Do you get what I'm saying? Most of the times he has the speed advantage over
everyone. He stays away from them fighters for a reason.
Like, I think about when he fought Erislandy Lara. I think about when he fought Trout. I think about when he fought Floyd. I think about when he fought Bivol, and I'm like, bro, you didn't really, like, that's someone who were genuinely faster than you.
The people that move their feet, he hates them.
Literally, other than Plant, who, let's actually be real, Plant actually was fighting good until he got greedy. Like, he was actually fighting good until he got greedy. Like, he was, if you look, obviously I still had him down on the cards. I think I might have had him like going into the 10th round, I think I might have had it like 6-4. But he got greedy in those last 3 rounds and got stopped. But up until that, it was real competitive. It was real competitive.
No, 100%. So nah, man, it'll be interesting, man. I've definitely got Bud. I got Bud for that. But yeah, man. We definitely, before we wrap, obviously we spoke about it after the fight. Now the dust is settled. The Eubank Benn, I can't lie, bro. Bro, it's not a fight I want to see again because I don't think there's any point. But I think, this is probably the one time I've seen a fight where the fight eclipsed the build-up, and the build-up was epic. You know them ones. A lot of these fights, the build-up is like, I mean,
especially
like
with the Riyadh
they get your
thing.
They get your money, and then the fight's like, oh, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, trust me, the Riyadh season promotions have been so epic, and then you feel like, even when I watched the Bois and AJ, I was so disappointed with it was like a good performance from the Bois. No, but the build-up was a mad thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, with this, both guys showed up still, but you brought up the rematch. There's one fight, that I thought about where I'm like, I might want to see more than this. Is if Billy Joe Saunders can get back here, I want to see Chris Eubank get that lick back. You know,
yes,
I want to see Chris Eubank get that lick back. This is the fight.
This is the fight we need, bro. I swear.
Can
after
you imagine
the thing with Napa as well,
can you imagine the thing with Napa
as well? I think that will eclipse the Conor Benn one, the build-up. Because Billy
tough.
Joe's mount is reckless, bro.
It'll be tough, but I think it'll be like, if he, like, people were saying, oh, Chris Eubank versus Canelo. I'm not into that. Like they don't have no beef that I would buy into. Whereas Billy Joe
Billy
Saunders
Joe
and
Eubank,
Eubank,
and that sells out another arena as well, bro. It
facts,
does. It's
100%.
another arena fight, and then on top of that, yeah, Billy Joe Saunders is gonna fight at a heavier weight, which is better for Chris as well, because they can
Facts.
fight at 168,
68.
or they can even fight at 170. Who cares? Find a little catch weight and do the fight.
Literally. And why is Sly sick and why I'd actually want to see it is because I'm like, it almost gives us the divide that we're gonna get if AJ and Fury
AJ Fury, it's the
you know what
same
I'm saying?
thing.
That
It is.
gypsy,
That.
you know what I'm saying? It will
Yeah.
bring us back that divide, and it's like, why you brought up a good point about Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. That both the public love to hate those guys. The public love to hate Billy Joe Saunders as well. So I know that's gonna sell as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the public, that fight, I can't lie. Like obviously Billy Joe Saunders is probably washed right now, so I don't even know where Billy Joe Saunders
But
is.
that's why I want to see it. I think he needs the money, and
I heard he's getting
Eubank.
beaten up in pubs right now, bro.
Yeah, of course, but Eubank is way more active. He batters Billy Joe, and even though it's not the same Billy Joe, because young Billy Joe Saunders was one of my favorite fighters to watch. He was so slick, mad skilled. He didn't have power, but he was a great boxer, innit? And
you brought up Visioli the other day. He
Yeah.
actually reminds me of a bit like Visioli. Like Visioli actually reminds me a bit like Billy
yeah,
Joe
just
Saunders.
slick southpaw, man. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of them ones where now, because Billy Joe Saunders hasn't fought, and on top of that, yeah, he hasn't looked after himself. They will have to have a swingers because Billy Joe ain't got no 12-round stamina for no fight. So,
Bro, he
like,
didn't have a 12-round stamina when he was fighting in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
But this is what I mean. So he's gonna have to see Eubank in the middle of the ring. So
Well,
for me, that fight has to happen.
Billy Joe Saunders has to get a fight back. Just come back in it. Just come back just get a fight, like just a gimme fight in the ring, just to get your ring rust off. Then give me that fight in it.
Yeah,
like,
even Kell Brook said he was interested in the Eubank fight, but I don't want to see Kell Brook fight again, bro. Do you know what I mean? Kell Brook's another fighter that I like, but I don't want to see him. He takes too long out of the ring in between fights, and then
but he ain't fought since the Amir Khan fight, which is
exactly
3 years ago.
But there you go. So I'm not trying to see Kell Brook, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Billy Joe Saunders is the same age as Eubank Jr. So I think it's a good
he just
fight.
don't look after himself, bro. Plus, there's actual beef. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, if I'm Chris Eubank Jr. and I beat Conor Benn and I beat Billy Joe Saunders, I would slightly feel I beat Liam Smith as well. I got my lick back against Liam Smith. I would feel vindicated within myself. That cool. Do you know what I'm saying?
British level are cleaned up.
Trust me.
You know
obviously, it would have been good if he won a world title, but to get that win, you got your win back against Smith, get your win back against Saunders. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. I think that'd be sick, man. So, like in the aftermath of the fight, do you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think it's been great, innit? I thought 100. that the public got their money's worth from the fight. That the build-up was great, the fight was great. I don't believe Conor can fight like that ever again. Like all of that pride and everything kept him on his feet because Eubank caught him with some uppercuts and left hooks here that if he got hit by someone else, he would have gone in it. But you know, the hatred kept man on his feet. You know them ones. Like,
hey, that's a great point. That's a great point because someone was like, I think someone was interviewing Eubank or Benn, Eubank or Eddie Hearn or something, and they were like, "Oh, we were so surprised by the chin and the heart." I'm like, I was surprised by the chin. I wasn't surprised by the heart. You'd rather die. You'd rather die than lose to Eubank.
But that's what it was, bro. You can see it as soon as the thing. He knew he lost, and he said after the fight, he was like, "Listen, I'm not even gonna say that I won and that like." And he looked like he was gonna cry. Like this was his whole life's work, you know.
Facts, bro. So
do you know
I knew we weren't gonna do a Ryan Garcia and take a knee and be over, bro.
That's it.
The only way Eubank was gonna win by stoppage is if he knocked him out cold. Like, bro, as long as he has strength in his body to stand,
he's getting back up.
He weren't getting stopped, bro. He was gonna.
And that's it. So that's why I rate it. I just think that I like the fact there was no handshake at the fucking end of the fight. They don't like each other. You know them ones. Like, I like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Even the fact, like Ben Shalom even said, like they were both in the hospital. Like next to each other, they didn't even talk to each other, and in the same hospital, man. I said, fuck that guy, bro. Them man are not, they don't mess with each other like that.
Trust me.
Do you know what I mean? Ben don't want to run it
bro.
Back,
That beef was real, bro. Like it's like I think about some wars where it's like, bro. I think about boxing like proper beasts from back in the day, and I'm like, the only one that I remember that was like this, where even when they lost, they were still hating, was Cleverly and Belly. Bro, bro, even when they lost, they were hating, bro. There was no
Yeah,
respect.
yeah.
Eubank had legs under. What did he say?
Yeah, Eubank never had his legs under him towards the end, and Benn still couldn't stop him, bro.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? And Benn almost got stopped, even though he wasn't even sitting down on his punches. Man, need to understand that Benn don't want this fight, and also Eubank wasn't rushed to hospital, bruv. He agreed to go hospital because of everything he went through. His dad probably said to him, "Yo, I've already lost one son. After this, you're going hospital. You're getting your vitals checked, and you're getting on the IV blood." You know them, man. So he said, "All right, cool."
And what people need to remember is this guy has his body has been through a mad thing, so he probably might have needed to go hospital before the fight even started. Like obviously he's used to making weight, but bro, keeping it real, what he's gone through in the last
it was the rehydration.
Yeah, trust me, like
and everything,
bro. This guy's literally been like, he's had probably, because I'm not even gonna lie, I don't think in previous training camps he would have trained as hard as this one, bro. This training camp, he would have trained so hard, bro. Like he would, like and I actually feel like deep down within my heart, I actually feel like even though Eubank won, I don't think we got the best version of Eubank. We
didn't get the best version of Eubank. We got the version of Eubank that we needed for him to win the fight, and that was it. Like he dug deep, he went to a place that very few men are able to go, bro. You know them ones, because at the end of the day, like brother, he didn't have his legs. He couldn't move because the ring was smaller.
Yeah,
that man fucked with the gloves. They fucked with his weight. They fucked with so many different things, and then they tried to send Billy Joe in there to rattle man before the fight. They tried everything.
And he's had so much media obligations. He's had like, for me, it's a mad thing. And also, like, I'm that version of Eubank doesn't beat the Eubank that we saw against Smith. That Eubank there we saw against Smith probably schools Conor Benn. That
Eubank that we saw against Smith stops Conor Benn in 3.
You think so?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. The Eubank we saw against Smith with the jab, he stops Conor Benn.
Well, that version of Eubank is the best version of Eubank I've seen. So I'm like, I still don't think that's I don't think that's the best version of Eubank. The one that we saw against Benn.
No, it wasn't,
as you said, to win.
That was old school Eubank, yo. Like man's just gonna literally just close the ring off and throw bangs.
Literally, the only
brother, he threw 300 punches in the last 3 rounds. You know, drained. Come on, man.
The only thing that was missing, was Eubank Sr. just dancing in the middle of the ring. Remember back in the day, Eubank when Eubank used to fight like a madman, no skills, just straight balls to the wall. You used to see Eubank Sr. instead of giving him instructions, man's just prancing in the ring. That's my son. I'm like, bro, that's the only thing missing, bro.
Bro, I thought that was crazy, but even Eddie Hearn was trying to talk his way out of the rematch. He was saying, "Oh, I want to see Benn down at one." He knows that he ain't got the leverage no more. You know what I mean? So,
but you know what was so mad?
Kills Benn in the rematch.
They know they absolutely stitched up Eubank on the first fight, and they thought that would have been enough to win. Now they ain't got those same terms in the second fight. It's a bit mad. But
you saw Eddie Hearn winking at the corner after like a couple of rounds. They see Eddie Hearn winking at the corner, thinking, yeah, Conor Benn's got him and that, bruv.
Yeah,
Eubank turned up the heat.
And obviously he had to check himself though, because he was like, oh yeah, we want him to go back to 47, and he's like, and then someone was like, oh, Boots. He's like, Boots is there, but you know, Boots might move up. I was like, bro.
Man, know what is, bruv. Boots weren't, bruv. Listen, Boots ain't even remotely concerned about Conor Benn. The thing is, like, bro, like, no one's worried about Conor Benn. Like, he's barely.
No, because they're saying he's gonna win a world title, but I'm like, bro, where are you gonna win this world title, my bro? Where?
Bro, the same place Hamza Shiraz was gonna win his. You know that one.
Like, where are you gonna win this world title, bro? Because when he said he's gonna win a world title, someone said, "What, Boots?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we can't win the world title there." Yeah, so where are you gonna go, bro?
Yeah, Boots will destroy that like in record time. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones where, like, bro, boxing's in a great place. I'll be real. Like, it's in a great place, man. That was an epic show. It's gonna be very, very difficult. I don't know, like, that's very difficult to match a fight like that because it's genuine bad blood. You know them ones, like it's genuine bad blood, and you don't really see that often in boxing where there's a genuine like a genuine backup, a genuine story. Literally. So with that, I think it was an amazing fight that can't be replicated, man.
Trust me, bro. But yeah, man, love having man on again still.
Come on,
and
brother.
love for all the support over the weekend still, bro.
Nah, bro, minor, bro. Trust me, man loves catching up with you lot and talking boxing. You get me? You lot make sure that and I'm sure they're running streams all weekend anyway. Him and Nick.
Yeah.
So you lot make sure you're over there. Over there
basically from Friday to Sunday. So it's we're live for the Devin Haney. So that's probably Devin Haney Ryan Garcia Teal fight. That's probably from like 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, and then the same day in the evening is Canelo. Well, same day for British time is Canelo at like 11:30. So there's that, and then Sunday morning is Inoue. Inoue's back in action. It's his first Riyadh season event. So pretty much just that for like 36 hours.
That normally runs about like 11 a.m. or something.
11 a.m. Yeah, 11 a.m.
I'm gonna tune into that for sure. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, people, make sure you run up the lights. Man's gonna redirect you over to Saeed. I think he's live now. Do you know what I'm saying? Cool. But yeah, man, make sure that you lot support their watch alongs. I'll be in the chat, people. And yeah, man,